Hey beautiful people, what is up and welcome back to my channel. I'm Jamila and I love all things beauty. I love all things makeup, I love all things skincare, and I especially love sharing my tips and tricks for how to find high-end and luxury beauty products at bargain prices. If that sounds like something you are interested in, I would absolutely love if you would consider subscribing and joining the fam. Okay guys, so today I'm coming with a review, well yeah, I guess I'll call it a review, a review of a new eyeshadow palette, and that is the Nomad Cosmetics Fetes de Provence palette. Sorry, this collection is inspired by France. I don't speak French, so I'm doing my best. So this palette was actually gifted to me from the brand, and as of the filming of this video, it is not live yet, but it will go live July 12th. I don't have a ton of information on it, so whatever I do find out will be included in the description box below. So in addition to the palette, the collection also does include some lip glosses. Now, as far as I understand, this is the first time Nomad is doing lip glosses, so I'm really excited to try this, and I will do swatches of the glosses for you guys as well. So as with Nomad, you get the sleeve and the box, the pictures match identically, and then you also get a postcard. I really love these little postcards. I throw them away all the time, but I think it's the cutest thing. But the postcard does give you a little bit of information about the collection. So I'll read you all some of the product details, and then we will dive into 3 eye looks. Now, just for reference, I do have a number of Nomad palettes. This one is sort of their smaller format. They do have a larger one, kind of, and this is the Paradise palette that came out right before this one, and you can see that this one is bigger in length. It has more shades. So this is the smaller one based on what the website has for their prior palettes that are this size, like the America's Parks palette. This I'm going to assume will retail for $39. So really great affordable price. Now let's get into some product details. So on the postcard it says, for the story, a destination of delights, Provence is graced with rolling lavender fields, honey-hued villages, and a sparkling coastline. In tree-lined towns, weekly markets entice the senses with colorful delicacies, while seasonal festivals celebrate the pleasures of provincial life. Follow your nose and indulge your taste buds to find la belle vie in Provence. Why can't I say that word? So let's open this baby up. Here are the shades of the palette. It says that this is a colorful garden of pink roses and sunflower yellows matched with soft lavenders and deep aubergine, 10 buttery mattes and 5 sparkling shimmers. So this is a 15 pan palette. You do get 5 shimmer shades here, and you do get 2 rows of mattes. Now this is definitely more of a satin shade compared to the rest of the shimmers, so I wouldn't really call it a shimmer, but then you have 2 rows of mattes. I will say, well, you guys will get into my final thoughts at the end, but you can probably tell that this top row is pretty light. It might be a little bit ashy on me. So this is the eyeshadow palette. I will insert some swatches for you guys. I don't think I'm going to do live swatches, but maybe. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. And then let's talk about the glosses. So this is the Glaze lip gloss. It's the newest product. It's a cushiony lip gloss with multicolored pearls and hydrating oils in 4 radiant shades. So I'm excited to try this. And then the last thing that the postcard says about the collection is that bees make the Garden of Delights possible, and with this launch we are so proud to support the Bee Conservancy. Now, if you are not familiar with Nomad Cosmetics, one thing that they do with every palette that they release is that they provide, I believe, about 10% of their proceeds go to a specific organization or cause. So I have always really appreciated that. So if that is something that you care about when you are purchasing your products, you will likely enjoy that as well. Okay, so let's open up the lip glosses. So this is the box for the lip gloss. It matches the palette as well. And like it said, it comes in 4 shades. Oh, I should give you guys some additional details. So just really quickly about the palette. This was made in China like their previous palettes, and it has a 12-month shelf life. For the lip glosses, this also has a 12-month shelf life and was made in China as well. This is vegan and cruelty-free, same with the palette. So if that is important to you, there you go. So this first shade here is Miel, M-I-E-L. I'm just gonna spell it out. Ooh, this is pretty. So this is a really nice light pink shade. This second shade is Lavande. It's a really nice purple. I really like that color. This third shade is Le Fetes. And just so you guys can see Le Fetes, this one here next to Miel. This one is definitely more purple. This one is more pinky. But I wonder if they'll be similar on the lip. I think it depends on how much of a base these have. Or how much pigment. And then the last one is Rosé. And this is a really, really bright pink. So just to show you, these are the 4 shades here. Now when you open up the gloss, it does have that flat doe foot applicator, which I kind of like. So let's do some quick swatches. Okay, so here we have the gloss shades swatched, and you can very, very clearly see the pigment here. So up top we have Lavande, we have Rosé, we have Miel, and then we have Le Fetes. So Le Fetes, which is this one right here, definitely has some glitter in there. It is definitely very prominent and chunky. This Miel shade, it looked like a really light pink, but it is gold. I am really liking that. And this Lavande shade is purple, but it does kind of like shift pink. So really looking forward to that. There's no smell to this, so if you are bothered by like scents, I don't really see a smell there. Ooh, let me put one of these. I'm gonna put Lavande on my lip. Ooh. Kind of thick. Kind of very thick. Very pigmented. You guys can already see that. I don't know how I feel about this formula. It feels very thick and almost Vaseline-y. But this pigment is cute though. Okay, let's dive into the eye looks, and then I'll come back and give you guys my thoughts on this overall collection.
It's like I'm trapped in a cage, feeling broken in places, reeling from all these faces, screaming at me from the inside out. I've had enough, forget it. I don't need it, but forgetting I need you a little from the inside out. Not saying I've got it worse, not saying it's the most hurt I've been, but it's enough to piss me off, and it's not always the deepest cut that leaves the longest scar. Oh, you got a little black soul, as dark as it gets, you're a gaping hole of emptiness, a big bag of regrets. Can't close my eyes, don't wanna see what comes next. Oh, you got a little black soul, you're a shadow in the sun wherever you go. Got no friends and nothing to show for it, your little black soul. It's like you're oblivious to it, you can't see it but you do it. What happened to us? It has me screaming inside out. I say you're wrong, so stupid, even wrote this song to prove it. Sing it and you're gone, you lose it from the inside out. Not saying I've got it worse, not saying it's the most hurt I've been, but it's enough to piss me off, and it's not always the deepest cut that leaves the longest scar. Oh, you got a little black soul, as dark as it gets, you're a gaping hole of emptiness, a big bag of regrets. Can't close my eyes, don't wanna see what comes next. Oh, you got a little black soul, you're a shadow in the sun wherever you go. Got no friends and nothing to show for it, your little black soul. One day we'll tell stories of your stories, of your stories. One day we'll tell stories of you, of you. Oh, you got a little black soul, as dark as it gets, you're a gaping hole. Emptiness, a big bag of regrets. Can't close my eyes, don't wanna see what comes next. Oh, you got a little black soul, you're a shadow in the sun wherever you go. Got no friends and nothing to show for it, your little black soul. Oh, you got a little black soul.
Okay guys, I'm back, and this is look number 1. I really like how this turned out. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it. As you can probably tell, the way in which the Nomad Cosmetics shimmers work is that they're very much a more softer shimmer. They're not super high impact or super sparkly, but they give a nice enough shine to the face. The matte's blended really well. I do have a couple more looks for you guys, but just to give you a little bit of details on what else I'm wearing on my face, I am wearing the Casa Gaga blush in the shade Amarone. So it's like this deep mauve kind of plum, which I thought went well with the purple. For bronzer, I'm using my Colored Rain bronzer. Really, really liking this so far. And for highlight, I am wearing the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk Multi Glow Highlighter. This is in the shade Dreamlight, so it's the deeper of the two. And for lips, I have my MAC Cork Lip Liner and my MAC Touch Luster Lipstick. This is like my absolute perfect just nude shade. It just matches really, really well. I don't even really need a lip liner if I'm being honest. And that's it. This is the face. This is what I'm going to be wearing for today. Like I said, I'll be doing a couple more looks. So let's switch into look number 2. Okay, so I am back. So let's dive into the second look with this new Nomad palette. I think I'm going to focus on this half of the palette now. So first things first, I'm going to dive into this shade Calisons. Okay, and all of these shades are in French, which I do not speak, so I apologize if I have anyone here that speaks French and is listening to me butcher these words. I am doing my best. I'm sorry. I should have researched this before I started filming. I was too excited. Anyways, I am plopping that shade right into the crease, and as expected, I'm having no issues with this. Nomad does have some really nice mattes. Now this is definitely looking a lot lighter on camera than it is in person. Like it's more pigmented in person, but I will say that it is a pretty light shade, and this entire top row is a little light for someone of a deeper complexion like me. But we will get to my, final thoughts overall at the end of this video. Next, I'm gonna go into this deep plum shade. It's called Vendange. Sorry. And I'm gonna use that to deepen up the crease. Oh, that is pretty. That has nice pigment. That was really quick and easy. I'm also gonna go into this deep plum shade called Macarons, and I'm gonna use that as my outer V shade. Now I'm really curious to see if this shade does show up differently than the other shade I put down, because to be quite honest, they do seem very similar. Yeah, but it's showing up differently. So this one is definitely more red, and the other one is definitely more pinky purple. But I wonder if I start like blending these together, if they're just gonna blend into the same shade. Yeah. Like you can see the difference, but honestly, it's very, very subtle. That's a little disappointing. Like this would have been nice if it was like a deep red brown, for a little bit of variation between this and that other shade. Now, I like where this is going, but I do want a little bit more depth in that outer V, so I'm gonna go into the black shade here. Looks like a deep charcoal gray, which I kind of prefer over black. Haute Alps. I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that, and I'm gonna use that to deepen out this outer part here. And like the slightest touch. I don't want this to be too deep in grunge. I just want just a little bit more depth, but I want this to stay that sort of red, maroon, pinky purple. Perfect. Okay, now let's go into the shimmers. I'm gonna start by taking this shade here. It is like a dual chrome. It's some pinky purples in there. Flute à Corset. Doing my best. It's a very, very like light shade, almost very topperish, a little powdery. And I'm gonna start by plopping that into the center of the lid, just using my finger. So you can see it like looks very purple. It's very pretty. I don't think this said that there was a duochrome in here. Okay, I'll obviously go back and clean this up a little bit, but I do want to lay down the final shimmer for this look. You guys know I love having two shimmers on the lids. So I'm actually going to go in with this yellow. I'm going to use my Refa number 2 brush to pick up a little bit of that product. It's picking up quite nicely. And I'm just going to put that into the inner third of the eye where I have that open space. Okay, now that I've pretty much got all of these shades laid down, I'm just gonna do some blending. You guys already know I like to blend and make things a little bit more seamless, so I'm gonna do that. I will say with these two shades, it is very toppery. Like there's not a ton of base to them, and I'm not really liking that. Okay, let's just blend and fix this. Okay, so this is what the eyes are looking like with everything that's a little bit more blended. I am gonna go finish up the rest of my face. I do have a bunch of fallout from the shimmer shades, so I'm gonna clean that up. So now, and I'll come back and give you guys one more look. Let's do one more look, and then I'll give you guys my final thoughts. Okay guys, I'm back and this is the second look. So for the waterline, what I ended up doing is that I actually used these two shades pretty much everywhere on the bottom, and then I went in with the black to deepen up the outer part a little bit, and that was kind of pretty much it. Yeah, so this is what the third look is looking like. In terms of some additional details, product details, I am wearing my Charlotte Tilbury foundation. I'm actually very close to finishing that one, and I might repurchase it because I really do like how that looks, especially for filming. On my lips, I'm wearing the Proper Beauty lipstick in the shade Moxie. Ooh, what happened here? Yeah, so this is in the shade Moxie. I don't know what happened there. And then I'm wearing my House Labs lip gloss over that. This is in the shade Attitude, and I picked this up on Amazon for 50% off. It's actually a really nice one. So, more stuff. For blush, I again mixed two different blushes. So I'm using this Milani Spiced Rose blush. So it's a really nice kind of mauve color. I love the rose packaging. And I also went over that with this Patrick Star One Size blush, just the matte shade, which is Rich Betch. So these are the two blushes that I'm wearing, and I'm using my Colored Rain bronzer, which I've been really enjoying, quite frankly. That is the bronzer that I have on today. And lastly, for highlight, I am wearing the Pat McGrath Divine Rose highlighter, which is just absolutely stunning. Okay, so this is the second look. I'm gonna come back with a third and final look, and then we'll come back to wrap things up, and I'll give you all sort of my final thoughts on this palette and the overall collection. Let's start with this yellow shade as a transition shade. Ooh, that's picking up really nicely.
Drink juice from the sweetest berries and dance the night away. Count stars in the sky while the clouds roll by. Smoke clouds.
Next, I'm gonna go into this shade. It's like a blue purple, and I'm going to use that. Oh Jesus! Ooh, too much. To deepen up the V because I'm gonna go for a bit of a halo eye today. Plop that in the inner and the outer part of the eye.
Kiss my tears with music. Find my love, don't lose it.
And now that I have the outline, I'm gonna go into this shade here, and I'm going to put that into the inner and the outer part of the eye to really form that halo. That is not picking up well. I have to either spray my brush or go in with my finger. Let's start with spraying the brush. I don't want to use my finger today. Okay, I feel like that really isn't doing much. I'm just gonna go in with my finger and see if I can try to stamp some of that color on. There we go. And now that we have both of those two shades laid down, I'm going to reach into the yellow shimmer shade and I'm going to plop that into the middle for my halo eye. Okay, this is looking really, really good. So I'm going to replicate this on this eye, and then I will come back and do a little bit of blending and cleaning things up. You guys know how I do. But so far, I'm liking this. Okay, so both eyes are done. I do have a bunch of fallout, which sucks because I did my base already. So let me see what I can do to clean that up a little bit. And I'm going to come back and end up this video and give you guys my final thoughts on this collection.
We drink juice from the sweetest berries and dance the night away. Count stars in the sky while the clouds roll by. Smoke clouds just to elevate. Hold hands when we need protection. Break bones, but we always mend them. Every heartbreak is a lesson.
Okay guys, I'm back and this is the final look. Let me just come in a little bit closer so you guys can see the lips. For my lips, I actually went in with a deep brown liner and then I used the Miel lip gloss on top of it. This is the one that looks pink in here, but it actually turns gold. So you can really see the lips. Okay, so let's talk about this collection. Is this my favorite Nomad Cosmetics collection? Honestly, no. So I think the palette is cute. I think it's okay. I think this could have been curated down into, honestly, like 9-pan palette. This entire top row, for the most part, is very, very light and pastel and does not necessarily work well on my skin tone, which is a deeper complexion. Like, it looks a lot richer than it actually applies. Like, these shades down here work really, really well for me, but this first row, not so much. I think the shimmer shades here are also kind of not their best quality. Like, these two apply the best out of the bunch. This one and this one is definitely a toppery shade, so not a lot of base pigment to them, and this one is a pretty satin shade. I actually use that as my inner corner inner corner highlight. Overall, I'm not impressed. I'm really, like, is it bad? Is it terrible? No, but would this be something that I would recommend picking up? Honestly, no. So the other thing too is that I think these two shades are relatively similar. This one is definitely more pink, purple. This one is definitely more red, mauve. Like, I feel like we could have done without a lot of these, and it could have been a very simple 9-pan palette. And like I said, this top row is very, very light, with the exception of this shade and this shade and kind of this shade. These two are too ashy for me. It's just, it wasn't giving what it was supposed to give. And one thing about the Nomad Cosmetics formula is that it tends to be very, very powdery. Well, not very, very powdery, but it tends to be powdery. And I kind of felt like these shadows were more powdery than usual. And it didn't bode well for this formula. And like I said, some of these shimmers here just had no impact. They were kind of toppery, no base. It just, it was a lot more work than I'm used to with Nomad shadows. And it wasn't worth it. I would much rather pick up another palette from Nomad Cosmetics. Even the Paradise palette, which is pastel, I felt like had more pigment, and these shimmer shades had more base to them. This one, I don't know. Yeah, it wasn't giving what it needed to give. Anyways, I don't want to like belabor that point, but I do want to talk about the gloss formula. Is she thick? She thick. Is this my favorite gloss formula? No. Like, I kind of like the Fenty Beauty lip gloss formula, the Pat McGrath gloss formula. This was giving me MAC Cosmetic lip gloss vibes, so it was thick and a little goopy. Now, what I did appreciate is that these shades actually do have pigment to them, so when you apply them to the lids, they are going to show up. So I like that there is a color difference here, and that it just doesn't all kind of look like the same shade. Appreciate that. But she thick, and I'm not really into the thick gloss. Like, I think this is fine. This, like, lip is fine, but I don't know. This is definitely not my favorite gloss formula, and I don't think I'll be reaching for these a ton. Maybe to, like, plop in the center and just give a little extra something. I don't know. Overall, you can probably see that I am kind of disappointed with this collection. Was I able to get looks that I liked? Yeah, I guess I really enjoyed the looks that I was able to come up with, but it's still not my favorite Nomad collection. Yeah, and that's it from me. If you are interested in this color story, I think you should definitely check it out. I'm gonna do a rankings video. I've decided I'm gonna do a rankings video and let you guys know which one is, you know, my favorite Nomad Cosmetics palettes. So if you are interested in trying the brand and you haven't done so, this would definitely not be the first one that I would recommend you dive into, but I'll rank my palettes so that you can see where I stand on them. Okay, so if you like this video, go ahead and give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already done so, I'd absolutely love if you would hit that subscribe button if you like the content and want to come back for more. Leave a comment down below letting me know if you plan on picking up this palette, because I'm very curious. Or if you did pick it up, what your thoughts are on this palette, the color story, the formula, everything. Clearly, I was not fully impressed, but I'm always give all my raw thoughts, even if this was gifted to me, which it was by the brand, which I think I said. I think I said at the beginning. If not, it will be somewhere. Anyways, thank you guys so very much for watching. I love you so very much, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye!